What's going on YouTube? AlphonZeus of Team Gradelock here, another episode of Unlocking Your Week, episode 84. We're going to start things off with the local results that happened at Game On this past weekend for both Cardfight Vanguard and Future Card Buddyfight. I was not there, I was not able to attend the tournaments on Saturday because I felt sick, and then I actually have a bonus result to include because I actually attended Time Warp this past Tuesday for a small Weiss Schwarz event. I'm trying not to call it Weiss Schwarz event anymore because it's actually pronounced Weiss, like in German. And I can at least deliver those results there. And then we can move on to the video content preview, which will include at least one deck profile and match. And we're going to try and do the giveaway video conclusion. So I said a month ago that I'll be doing a giveaway for two different types of sleeves that are still available at under $20. And you can enter this giveaway right here. You still have time until February 4th, so you can hop on that and get ready. And then pretty much the next day on February 5th, I'll make a giveaway announcement video announcing the end of the giveaway as well as the two winners. And finally after that, we will conclude with the latest Cardfight Vanguard episode, Ride 210 or G Turn 14. And thing is though, if you honestly think that I should be reviewing over a different episode, you can comment down below with that, because unless I get a better suggestion, I'll keep doing the G series. And if you don't like that, you can always close out the video and be on your merry way, but I'm gonna keep doing it. The only other suggestion I have is the Buddyfight episode that I can break down or review every week. So let's move right on to the local results. Start things up on this past Tuesday. I was actually there with Alex at Time Warp Comics and Games for a small Weiss Schwarz tournament for a t-shirt of Fairy Tail. And we did it pretty much the Bushi Road way, where each of us gets 2 packs, and when we open the packs, we pretty much put all the cards face down. And then we play pretty much our opponent, and it's a first to level 1 game. And the thing is though, you can pretty much play any cards with no cost requirements pretty much, and then whoever gets to level 1 first loses. It's a very fast version of the game, and it definitely takes way less than 5 minutes to complete. And one of the most broken things about it is that if you actually do pull a signed card, so an SP stamped hot foil card, you automatically win the game. It doesn't matter when you took that in your clock, if you trigger checked it off when you did an attack, or even when you just drew it to your hand. You just simply reveal the signed card and you win. We only had 4 people there, and we had one of them actually get that signed SP card. So when he revealed it on his clock damage, he automatically won. So the thing is though, there are 8 cards in every booster pack, 16 cards total, and 2 climaxes, guaranteed, 1 per booster. For someone to get a signed card, it's pretty much GG, because all you gotta do is reveal it, and then boom, it's over, it's done, you don't need to do anything else. You win, because the thing is though, getting a signed card, the chances of that is really, really low. And seeing that turn out in our draft of probably only 4 people, it automatically gave him the edge in all the matches, and he pretty much lost. So he got the t-shirt and he got a signed card on top of that. It was a pretty nasty way to kind of end the local, because the vibe was just kind of off. Let's just say that I guess I was a bit salty, but thing is though, congrats to the player who topped, Phil, and he managed to not only get the t-shirt, but of course he gets, we all get playmats as well as part of the event. The thing is though, it turned out it's actually the same playmat as they gave out for the Weiss Schwarz regional, if I can just show you that. This is pretty much, like, you can't really tell the difference between the two. It's just like, one's from like the regional and one's from the sneak peek. So I don't know, it's kind of nice just having it sit there for a while. I don't know if I want to do giveaways for them next or later, but in any case, moving on to what happened on Saturday. Now Saturday had pretty much the usual 2 tournaments from Game On. So you had Cardfight Vanguard occurring around 2 o'clock, and then Buddyfight, or Future Card Buddyfight, occurring around 5:30. I actually had Chris L from a good friend of mine from college, and he gave me the results at least as to what happened. Out of the 16 people that showed up there, we had 2 players, pretty much Billy and Chris L. They both topped with Bluish Flame Liberator. So yes, prominent score is a very big glaring problem, if I may say, and they pretty much rocked Gold Paladins since the start, and it's glad to see the Bluish Flame Liberators really getting in their aggression and making a top spot. Not only one, but two different top spots in the top 4. And rounding out the top 4 were actually Eric running the Deleters of Link Joker, and Travis running the Break Ride with Dragonic Overlord the Great. So we get to see Kagero, and we get to see Link Joker top along with the Gold Paladins. So congrats to all top 4 players. Hope you got some pretty good pulls from each prize support. And then let's move on to the Buddy Fight, where we actually had, I think, a turnout of 8 people for, I guess, a box tournament for the new Set 5 Break to the Future. And so far from what I received there, the 2 people that topped there were actually decks who ran pretty much giant dragons. So we're going to try and do a deck profile for that deck in particular this upcoming Saturday. You get to see what it is. If you've been part of the Facebook group, you get to see at least his analysis of and a complete deck list of all the cards that he has there. It pretty much revolves around size 3 dragons and how crazy those boss monsters can be, especially when you put them in the hands of Dragon World. It's such a good player like decks. And then in the second spot, we actually had Joe, our very own Joe L, who ran Skull Warriors and also made it into the top 2. So congrats to those 2 for making it into the top 2 of that pretty interesting box tournament. And yeah, hopefully I'll be back right in action at Game On for both tournaments. Or who knows, I'm not sure how long I can keep going. But we'll certainly give it a shot. So that was a pretty short locals report, but going into the video content preview OC for this week, I'm going to try and do a deck profile. Hopefully it's either going to be Ian's Risers or Alex's Ian's Risers, Alex's Sing Saver deck, or Ryan's Metalborg deck. I guess if you guys want any of those 3 in particular, you can comment down below so I can get right to it. As far as the match goes, I'm going to try and have it up on Friday, because now that really homework and coursework has really started to build up on me, and my internship I'm devoting a lot more time to, pretty much just trying to keep myself focused. And it's going to be hard for me to edit the videos as we go along, because of course studies and work usually do come first. So outside of that, I'm going to do the giveaway video. I'm going to just pretty much just kind of like cap it off. Once it hits Thursday, or at least, let me check the calendar for a second. Once it hits Wednesday, actually, when it hits like 11:59, I guess, before midnight, I'll just pretty much edit out that episode 80 video by including in that the giveaway is closed. And after that, I'll go on for Thursday. I'll pretty much just make sure I can do the raffle fairly and call out the 2 winners. And of course, the prizes were pretty much, you get to choose any different types of sleeves, whether it's a Cardfight Vanguard character sleeve or others, as long as they meet the following conditions. 1, they're under $20, and 2, they are still available, because I don't know how long I can search out for sleeves that are extremely rare and hard to find, and usually those sleeves would be worth more than $20. So that's the video content preview that you get for this week. Now, moving into the last part of it, which will be the episode breakdown. Now, of course, if you don't want to see it, then please pause, goes the video. You can close out. Wow, I completely forgot what I was going to say for a second. You can just close out the video and be on your merry way. But unless you give me a better suggestion, I will keep doing the G-series. And like I said before, if you want me to break down something else, like such as the Future Card Buddyfight episode, or maybe even talk about something else outside of my other vlog that I'm trying to do every Thursday now, please, I'm open to suggestions, and I'm going to try and do good for this. And now, we're going to do this. Ride 210 or G turn 14. Spoiler alert, you haven't seen the episode yet, please pause, close the video, go watch that episode, come back right here so we can discuss about it. And if not, you can close out the video and be on your merry way. 12 hours later. I'm sorry, my phone gave out on me while recording, so at least I can get right into the episode review / breakdown. So, Ride 210 or G turn 14, Takeru the Wanderer. We get to see pretty much the Rock Lee of Cardfight Vanguard. And before this episode really takes off with that encounter, we first have Chrono pretty much walking down and comes across this person who asks him for his name, and after he confirms, he gives him what looks like to be an envelope you would receive off of Chinese New Year. And the thing is, though, inside, you get to see a brand new card for Gear Chronicle. The thing is, though, we don't get to see the art yet, but pretty much one of the first things that Chrono would do is to bring it to Kamui and just show him, hey, this guy just gave me an envelope from this card, and it happened to be a quest too. So I don't know what's the mystery of this. I don't know how this person knows my name. It might be somebody we already know from the G series, or it might be a completely new character that hasn't been revealed to us yet. But the theories can go on and on. Now, when Kamui would actually give the suggestion that put the new card in your deck, rebuild the deck, and get going. So I'm not sure how good Chrono is at deck building, because, you know, of course, he's probably one of the more recent, I guess, players in the Cardfight Vanguard, at least in his community of players. And the thing is, I think this new card, it kind of gives us a little bit of hype, thinking, whoa, okay, we've had some craziness with Mystery Flare Dragon and Interdimensional Planar Dragon, wondering, like, okay, what other card can actually help us out here in terms of having Chrono to become a really interesting deck build, especially he's pretty much the only person that's playing Gear Chronicle at that time. And the thing is, though, after that little scene at the card capital, we get to see a scene between Kumi and Tokaha, where they talk about the tournament scene, and especially after, you know, talking about, I guess, her brother and some tournaments that are coming up, especially for, you know, like, I guess, the tournament to get to grade 3, Tokaha would give a pretty insightful piece of advice, which is, I like Vanguard, but tournaments and stuff are a pain. And the thing is, though, this kind of resonates quite true to a lot of the Cardfight Vanguard players, because I like Vanguard, I like the gameplay, it can be very hilarious while playing it, and it can be very sacky while playing it. But the thing is, though, when you go to tournaments and stuff, it can get, I guess, you know, I've been to YCSs before for Yu-Gi-Oh!, but at least for Cardfight Vanguard, at least the shenanigans that happen there can be toned down a bit, although they are still present there. And it can be very hard dealing it, because I was there for the team league back last year when we had to have a round 0, and it was very unfortunate that people that came all the way from Canada, from, you know, Virginia, that they just got their hopes dashed away when they got eliminated before the actual tournament took place. So when Toka would actually drop that line, I really thought about all those moments back then when, you know, Bushiroad was still struggling to try and find a good tournament scene. And hopefully this year, with the tournaments that are coming up, and once again the East Coast is in New York, I hope that it will be at least a better one than last year. So moving into the encounter between Takeru and Chrono, seeing how the first thing that would happen would be for Takeru to actually walk on 6 fingers, 3 on each hand, and pretty much almost walk into Chrono, where it's just, I'm sorry, could you move? I think it's so. Usually you would look up and at the person, especially if they're older than you. But the thing is, though, you look up and you see just legs. Not really the most normal thing you would see when you walk in an everyday situation. And the thing is, though, after, you know, of course, they move out of the way, and Takeru keep walking. And the thing is, though, after going through what looks like to be a very rigorous training program, and how he would sweat and just, you know, struggle to kind of keep the training up to a very maximum efficiency. And also, another thing to point out would be the doll that's in his vest pocket. I thought it honestly looks like the villager from Animal Crossing. But the thing is, though, with that many close-ups in the episode, I would have to think, okay, this has to represent somebody in the series that will hopefully be revealed later on. And so after he actually almost passed out from pretty much hunger, because he hasn't ate any food in the past 3 days, he lived off only water, which is very extreme, because of course, yeah, you can live for maybe a few weeks without water, but still, when you're going through a strict training regimen like that, that can be kind of detrimental, at least in my opinion. So after Chrono would be the good guy and kind of just say, you know what, here, eat some rice cakes, you'll be fine. And he eats pretty much like Goku, which is pretty insane. And after that, he thanks him and introduces himself to Takeru Baba. And I thought that was a pretty nice name. And the thing is, though, his eyebrow game is also on point. It pretty much reminds me of Satsuki Kirin from Kill la Kill, as well as Rock Lee from Naruto. So when you're asking, like, what are you all doing this for? It's just training. And training, it seems like this guy is a world warrior, just wandering around looking for another fight. I think as though up until this point, we think it's like this guy literally is like, what is he fighting in fight clubs? Is he part of like the UFC or something in Vanguard? And the thing is, though, even though that it's amazed how this man can do with the human body, and how Chrono is even impressed with the fact that he can walk on 3 fingers with pretty much each arm, and how Takeru would repay him back, pretty much says anything, and it's just like, I'll carry your stuff, I'll play hide and seek with you, anything. And it's awkward because it's like, all right, I just met you. I don't think we should. I don't think you should repay me that much. Like Chrono, he just says, you know what, you don't owe me, man. Just carry on with your day and just be good. And the thing is though, Takeru would go as so far in extreme to literally call him Chrono Dono or Lord Chrono, and I thought this was very weird because it's from this point where Chrono says, "Get away from me, please, for the love of God." And he starts running. And the thing is, though, when he thought he just lost him, you get to see him on a freaking water tower doing what looks like to be a side plank, holding on to the freaking, like, holding on to the freaking water tower, like, pole. And it pretty much looks like a flag at that rate. And seeing how Chrono would be so shocked and amazed to see that, I was wondering, oh my goodness, I have to get away from this guy. I think it got to the point where pretty much they were on opposite sides of the river, and Takeru would go so far as to jump over, pretty much very conveniently, boats that would lead him to the same spot where Chrono is, and he jumped over what, like 3-4 boats, and then when he jumped on, we pretty much get to the face of the episode where Chrono is just like, what are you doing? It's like he's so afraid to cardfight him right now that he thinks he's gonna get into an actual fight with Takeru, even though that Takeru will call him Chrono Dono. The fact that he just goes like, what are you doing? Who does that? Who does that? I don't know what manners this is, but this is crazy. But afterwards, after he goes through that whole chase scene, we get to see Takeru almost again be so hungry that Chrono's like, oh my god, he's hungry again. I was like, I just fed him maybe like an hour or two ago. And he brings him over to what seems like to be a very high class, I guess, Vanguard shop. Because you see, like, some nice chairs, maybe some like cushioned leather seats. You get to see even some high-tech advanced Cardfight Vanguard tables for pretty much, card fighting. And seeing the big flat-screen TVs too, you can tell, it's like, have we been born maybe 20 years too early? Because this looks pretty freaking cool. And Vanguard, it seems like to have taken off to the point where it's just taking over the whole entire world like that. Oh my goodness. And the thing is though, as he looks at some of the card fighters, he notices Shion doing some card fights as well with the Royal Paladin clan, and people are all hyped up because they want to be the next one to face him. It's like, oh wow, like I want to face you next, and then even for the people that lost against him, like I can't believe I lost, but I want to fight you again and again and again, and just, oh man, this guy is like Mr. Popular over here. How is this guy just getting all these requests for card fights against Royal Paladin? And the thing is though, Takeru ends up realizing that he actually fought Shion before in a card fight, and then Chrono, he does a pretty funny face where he just says, what, you're a Vanguard fighter? You this is not actual fighting with your fists? Because usually when they say go into training like that, especially when it's very physical, you wouldn't really relate all of that physical training to Cardfight Vanguard. And the thing is though, when Chrono even tries to demonstrate, like, oh, I thought you fight like this. And the thing is though, as that scene progresses on, we get to see at least that scene switch to Tokaha and how, she's kind of, I guess, editing her deck and giving flashbacks before when, I guess she received, a prize or so, some certificate. And then she also notices her brother, and I guess he got a championship trophy for winning. And I don't know too much about that arc. If you actually know a bit more about what's going on there, you can comment down below with that as well, because I probably don't want to go too much into it. But the thing is though, going back into the card fight where they actually do finally card fight, and Chrono's like, you know what, okay, card fight you, and it's just like, alright, we got this set up, and we get to see Eradicators of Narukami. We haven't seen support for this thing in quite some time. I think the last thing I've seen was maybe in set 14 or so, and seeing Tempest Bolt Dragon again just proves, like, okay, this is pretty real. I'm kind of glad that he made an appearance back in the G series. It kind of hopes also further says that, oh, don't worry about this G format regulation series, because seeing more of the old school units pop up, even though this old school unit was pretty much only 2 to 3 sets back, it's kind of nice that we still get to use these units, especially how they're bringing Eradicators back. And the thing is though, when he goes into that Stride unit, the Stride unit being so manly and being Aiten Haryu Conquest Dragon, I'm not sure, I haven't read up on the actual skill yet, so if you do know, you can comment that down below as well. And you get to retire units, and of course you get to get the heart effect from the grade 3 you strided over, so you get that triple drive check. Oh boy. And the thing is, though, after that crazy attack that pretty much dealt 3 damage, I guess he got a double crit off of that triple drive, Chrono, it seems like he really felt it. And so, you know what? I'm not going to take this anymore. I'm going to try attacking in. And the thing is, though, he actually had a 2-to-pass shield value against Chrono's attack. And the thing is, though, it's probably over because this is going to be the second time that Takeru would go into stride. And the thing is, though, he says something that's kind of, I guess, YOLO-ish, but the thing is, though, it's actually very wise. But if I fight you, I gain experience. I'm like, okay, yes, that goes for any other player. But the thing is, though, it says, you may never see the people you meet on your journey again. And the thing is, though, that really is true. Because I remember just today, we get to figure out the story that Mr. Monty from Rooster Teeth actually passed away. And it was really sad to see that because I see a lot of people posting on Facebook when they met him, even though it was just once, you may never see the people you meet on your journey again. And it really hits the feels because, Monty has been a very, affluent and very awesome person in the video game community, and his videos have been doing excellent. I remember when I saw Dead Fantasy, and it blew me away because, like, wow, how does this guy do this stuff? And the thing is, though, that reminded me of how Takeru would say that, and how this really true personification of the world warrior, the wandering warrior, just to try and fight and go all out no matter who you face, no matter at what time. And that's really heartwarming. I really kind of felt that very well. And it's cool that Takeru would say something like that, and it kind of resonates with me today after figuring out that news. So, going into, I guess, his second stride turn with the G-Break, he goes into, okay, I'm going to power up my units in the front row and retire stuff, which is pretty broke, and Narukami, they pretty much are livid for gaining power off of, stuff going to the drop zone. Ever since we've seen the shotgun Rail Dragon in the Legion format, and then even when we go back then, way back when, I think set 10 or set 11 with that. So when he tries to go in with an all-on attack on Chrono, he ends up just taking a Perfect Guard. Because no matter how good your attack may be, a simple Perfect Guard will be most likely the only answer you'll ever need, outside of Gloria attacks and maybe the fear of a Daikaiser Perfect Shield pop. I think as though the fight got to the point where it was that exciting that Shion would take notice as well, and other people that were watching Shion's game would go over and watch Chrono and Takeru fight it out. And that's actually quite interesting because I think it just furthers the rivalry, saying like, oh wow, he's getting more buzz than me, what am I doing? And going back to Chrono's mindset, just I want to fight a lot of different people, which is true, because I think every different opponent you face in Cardfight Vanguard is a lesson learned and a brand new way to play the game, because it's pretty awesome. You get to fight all these people that come from so many different walks of life, and it kind of results in him going into the stride of Space-Time Dragon Fate Rider Dragon, which I haven't seen that skill yet. I'm not sure what the on-hit Vanguard skill is, but in any case, the time when he actually did stride into that unit and Chrono would just go all out for this attack, he actually won. He actually dealt that 6 damage, which happens to be a copy of Tempest Bolt Dragon, to Takeru, and people just got so excited because, like, wow, this is so exciting. Chrono won Gear Chronicle against Narukami Eradicators. He got to the point where so many people were surrounding the table that Shion was pretty much left in the background, and it seemed like he had no other card fighter to play against, and damn, that kind of sucks. But I guess moving on after that card fight, they would meet on the bridge again, and then Takeru would drop a line that would probably do some foreshadowing of what we would see in the future, saying, let's meet in the local qualifiers for the Vanguard National Tournament. So we get to see how Chrono would perform on the the local stage for the national level. So to qualify was what I'm saying. And the thing is, though, Chrono, he had a light of fire lit up in him when Takeru would inspire him, especially how, like, no matter what, you go all out because you never know when you'll see that person again. And seeing how the episode would end with that is very heartwarming, and I do like how, the whole aspect of Cardfight Vanguard is really coming together. Because throughout the past episodes, has it been a bit cheesy? Yes. Has it been kind of crazy and I guess not like the usual Cardfight Vanguard episode? Yes. But are they dropping some pretty nice wisdom hints? I say yes. And I still like breaking down the episodes. And the thing is, though, it all depends on you. So if you want to see more Cardfight Vanguard G review breakdowns, comment down below. If you want to see other episode breakdowns, which would actually, the only choice I see so far is Future Card Buddyfight to keep in the trading card game genre. But if you have any other suggestions, feel free to comment down below with them, and I will make sure to adjust as we go along. But until that moment, that is it for me. My name is AlphonZeus. I hope that you've enjoyed the week that I've unlocked for you, and I'll see you all next time. Take care.